My name is Alex William Pistone, and I am a Sicilian Brooklyn, New Yorker from Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, West 9th. And started drugs, like I said, at the age of 13, LSD. Didn't smoke my first joint of weed until I was like 17. By the time I was 19, overdosed 4 times, pronounced dead 3 times on heroin. And at hospitals for the last 13 years, diagnosed with kidney cirrhosis, pancreatitis, you name it, I got it. I'm blessed to be here.
My name is Dr. Karen Tabak, and I have been working in the addiction field since the early 90s. I was a community college professor, and over a period of 4 years I developed a chemical dependency certificate program.
This is my vice now. I've had many vices in the past. LSD, cocaine. If the doctors didn't stop me, I'd be dead right now, so I'd keep going.
Oftentimes it takes a major serious consequence for people to begin thinking about their behavior as being addictive. Or other times it's friends and family that do interventions and try to help people see that they are having negative consequences that they continue to have as a result of their drinking and using behavior.
I was coming home from a strip club called the Gaslight in Long Island. My mom was living in a place called North Babylon at the time. Didn't feel well, but I had done a bunch of cocaine that night, hung out with a bunch of strippers, went home. I came down with no shirt on because I was living at my mom's house, and my dad had since passed the year before, and you know, she was already depressed. I was a piece of garbage, you know, putting her through all this shit. I medicated myself a lot with cocaine. Well, I came down and my whole back was blue, my whole side was red, everything was. She decided she was going to take me to the hospital, and she basically dragged me by my ear. She stayed with me all 9 hours there. A doctor was about to release me. Another gastroenterologist comes running to the emergency exit and says, no, you let that, how are you crazy? If you let that guy go, he's going to die in his sleep tonight. He has chronic pancreatitis. The normal level for a human being is 232 for their amylase. Mine was 2980. 20 more points, my pancreas would have burst and I would have died. I didn't die. I'm here.
One of the most basic factors that we know that allows people to remain clean and sober is for people to, first of all, have self-forgiveness and to get rid of the guilt and the shame that they experience as a result of the behavior that they've engaged in during the addiction process.
I'm still scatterbrained. I'm still insane. I'm me. What the fuck you want? That's who I am. What am I supposed to act? No, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna be real.
Addictions, I think, usually stem out of dissatisfaction with life in general. So you use the thing to give you pleasure to sort of feel better about yourself, and it becomes a cycle where you want to escape it because you know it's not good for you, but whenever you're not doing it, life isn't satisfying to you. So you use it to sort of find, even if it's just a temporary satisfaction, it's just a cycle that just keeps going over and over again.
No alcohol, but drugs, I've indulged in a little crystal meth here and there, but not for a while. But you know, I'm still once an addict, always an addict.
I think, unfortunately, some people never actually accept the fact that they have an addiction.
Whether you're addicted to, you could be addicted to cake, you could be addicted to drugs, you could be addicted to anal sex. It doesn't matter. You could be addicted to anything. You could always fall back to it. You know?
There are actually specific programs in psychology which are called cognitive behavioral treatment programs, where people actually learn to become aware of these thoughts, these negative thoughts as they come up, and find a way to kind of turn these thoughts around to be more constructive and more positive. And I think in many ways the Buddhist approach does the same thing. The Buddhist approach allows people the opportunity to go inside and maybe change through mindfulness.
I smoked too much weed when I was in university, and I mean, for a good year I wanted to quit, but I was having a hard time with it. And what really helped me actually was meditating and once I was able to clear my mind through meditation, I was able to implant the desire to do other things, and in the quiet of the mind when I'm meditating, those seeds that get planted can grow, and it just sort of happens naturally. So I think meditation, you don't have to think of it as spirituality, but just some sort of clearing the mind is an extremely useful tool.
Refuge recovery speaks to all the issues that are inherent in working with people who have addictions, and he is using Buddhist principles and beliefs to help people have an understanding of their cravings and their aversions, and that's essentially the basis of addiction. And so people are being with themselves in a way that they've never been with themselves, and they don't have to keep doing, they just need to be who they are. So it's being versus doing, and that's what Noah is really trying to capture in his treatment program.
So I meditate a lot, and it helps me.
I was just going through this depression. I was smoking too much, like I said, and I just happened to notice that I had this book called Siddhartha, a book that I had read back when I was in like 9th grade, and decided I'll just read it. Why not? Just read a book, and started reading it, and it was about the Buddha, right? And just going through that book, I started feeling like genuine happiness and joy, just like reading the words themselves, and it sort of reminded me what it was like to be happy in a time when I was not feeling happy in general.
No one ever expects that it's going to happen to them, and it does happen to so many people because people aren't willing to take a look at the possibility of the consequences of using it.
But the doctors say in moderation. The difference is my moderation is different than every other fucking person's moderation. My moderation is 4 bottles as opposed to, so I'm like, okay, I'll have 4 bottles instead of 6.
We know that people use substances and use behaviors for only 3 reasons. One reason is to get a certain feeling. One reason is to get rid of a feeling. And another reason is to escape. When we look at suffering, we can see ways in which people increase their suffering by the behaviors that they engage in. So for example, if people want to escape from the pain of their early childhood, they're going to use a substance or a behavior that causes them negative consequences that will impact their life in a very negative way. If we can help them take a look at the underlying trauma in their life. And when I talk about trauma, I'm talking about physical abuse, I'm talking about sexual abuse, I'm talking about early abandonment, I'm talking about emotional abuse, and really, really, really early loss. When people experience those things in the environment, and they also have a predisposition to drug and alcohol use, sobriety is the end goal, but we can't get to sobriety unless we give people the opportunity and work with people to work through the trauma. Buddhism looks addiction straight in the eye because it's talking about craving and aversion. And that's essentially what addiction is. Exercise and movement are extremely important in any recovery. If I was going to create an ideal treatment program, there would be no psychotropic medications. We would have periods of exercise every single day. Dr. Peltz gives very, very specific exercises that people can do to become mindful and to enter into spiritual recovery rather than just recovery from the drugs and alcohol.
Yeah, I just started meditating. I would just do like a minute. That's all I could really do. At most, maybe I just did 5 seconds, and I couldn't really enter that silence in between thoughts. It was too hard. My mind was always racing. And I had lots of negative thoughts. But slowly but surely I was able to exist in that silence between thoughts and widen that gap. And those negative thoughts started to be replaced by more positive thoughts that I wanted to have in life. And then over a period of months, I just sort of emerged out of this cave and saw the sunlight again, and it felt good.
I think the biggest challenge is for the person to negotiate their ambivalence, because nothing is all good or all bad. And we know that obviously there are some benefits for using and continuing to use, and some benefits and consequences for using. So I think we have to get to the point where we help the client to see that the benefits of not using outweigh the benefits of using.
LSD, one of my favorite drugs in the world. I was just offered it 2 days ago. I didn't want to do it because I've had, what difference is it going to be? I've done the best LSD in the world. Why am I going to, what kind of trip am I going to have that's going to be different?
We need to begin to talk about healthier ways of youth being popular.
Life is blessed, and if people understand this, all people have to understand is this. Every obstacle that you face in life is not a hindrance. It's a fucking blessing. You wanna know why they're you fucking fools? Because it means you're alive. You know how many people in this world wish that they could, their families that are 6 feet under could face the obstacles you're facing? You wanna know why? Because that means that they're alive. They're dead. Don't you wish my mom and my sister wish that my dad could be facing obstacles right now? He's 6 feet under.
We need to talk more about the importance of rehabilitation. We need to talk more about ways in which people can feel good about themselves. We need to talk about the fact that there's suffering in life. And life isn't just a bowl of cherries. And we need to help kids learn some coping tools for dealing with those times in their lives that are uncomfortable and unpleasant, and moving through them without seeking to annihilate those feelings.
From the very first time that I really understood what meditation was supposed to be, and I just went to the living room where I was living, and I didn't close my eyes, I didn't do Om or anything like that. I sat on the couch, and the entire idea, so I just having the entire idea was experience the present moment. Don't think about it, don't judge it, don't label it, just look at your surroundings and nothing else. And the first time I did that, I looked at everything around me, and it was just this living room, and it was the simplicity and clarity of the present moment that sort of brought this spark back into my emotions that I felt like I had been numb for a long time. And just the present moment is an exciting thing, even if nothing's happening, which is a strange idea, but it's true. I mean, at least in my case. And after doing that just maybe 7 months or so, not even every day, just sporadically, every once in a while, but trying to get into that silence, I started slowly but surely seeing my life change, and like in all the ways that I want.
Using basic psychological tools as well as Buddhist principles is probably the most powerful way that we can help addicts change their thinking.
Compassion for yourself is, it's not just like some mystical concept or anything like that. It just simply means that you look at what you're doing and you don't say it's bad. You don't say it's wrong. You don't say I should be doing something else because I'm worthless for doing this. I'm bad for doing this. You're not saying any of that stuff. Instead, you're just saying, okay, that's what I'm doing. I understand. Why am I doing it? What am I needing? Okay, you figure out what you're needing, and that explains what you're doing, right? Say you feel anxious so much because you're needing a support system in your life that's lacking. Your family has broken apart, and you just don't know how to feel not anxious without being under the influence of something. When you're sober, you feel this anxiety, but really it comes from lacking a support system. Whatever it is, it might not be, that's just one example. Just find out what it is you're needing, what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, and then you meditate on it, you try to enter that silence, and slowly you start to transform your life. You know, that's how it is. and just have compassion for yourself and for others.
Probably the most important message I would give to young people is that they pay attention to the incredible peer pressure that's out there, and that if they can establish a sense of self through fabulous other ways, through sports, through scholastic success, through really good friendships, through interests, that they can have a wonderful life without being drawn into the social world of drinking and using.